Marlbs here, and today I'd like to show you my controller collection. Now, my controller collection centers primarily on Xbox controllers, and I started collecting Xbox controllers in the Xbox 360 era. So this video will primarily cover the model 1697, which is the original Xbox controller, the 1708, which was kind of the 1S controller, if you will, and the Xbox Series controller, which is the 1914s. In addition to those, I'm going to include my OEM controllers. Now, these are controllers that use a stock base Microsoft controller, and these modifications to the controller mostly center around the graphics and the theming, and in some cases, the paddle setup in the case of Scuff. But these are OEM Microsoft controllers. We're not going to include any third-party controllers that are not OEM Microsoft. So let's talk about some of my favorites. One of them that I can't ever talk about enough is my 1708. This is a prototype controller. I call it my Pittsburgh Steelers prototype. Now, the thing that's interesting about this controller is it was never ever released in this format. But it is a prototype, and it is kind of one of my go-tos, as one of my favorites. This is the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner Space Jam controller that came with the LeBron shoes for the LeBron Space Jam movie. Now, I have a separate video where we're talking about that a little bit more in detail. I'm a big Roadrunner fan, so this one is like a holy grail level controller for me, and it's pretty difficult to get with or without the shoes. It's definitely one that is one of my all-time favorites. This is a 1708 Scuff. It is the Dr. Disrespect. Now, this one here, the old two-time, it's a pretty cool controller. Got red paddles on the back, red sticks. It's just a very, very interesting controller, and, you know, love to play homage to the two-time. Another one of my all-time favorites, many of you know, is my Elite Series 1 Gears of War controller. Now, this Gears controller, as you can see, has been scuffed out, and I love the setup, I love the look, I love the feel, I love the scratches in the plastic. It makes the controller, I think, have way more character than some controllers that you see these days. Now, people always ask me, well, what about the Elite Series 2? Well, that's a pretty easy question because really there's only one to choose from. The Elite Series 2 Halo Infinite controller is the only limited or special edition controller that was done for Halo on the Elite Series 2. We have not seen any other special or limited edition Series 2 controllers yet. However, rumors of a Gears of War controller continue to circulate. I wouldn't pay too much attention to that until we get closer to the release of the Gears game. The Gears of War is still quite a ways away, so I wouldn't expect that controller anytime soon. I think you're going to have a better luck expecting the Elite Series 3. Now, one of the nicest of the 1914s has to be the Forza. This translucent top, well, it does have the pink and sky blue buttons, or baby blue if you like, and the white back. What's interesting is this driver's kind of steering wheel grip that they used on the bottom of this, which is different from any other grip on any of the other Microsoft controllers. Definitely one that is very, very unique. It is probably another one of my all-time favorites for sure. Speaking of all-time favorites, here it is. Yes, sir, the Titanfall controller. This is a Xbox One controller, and it still is compatible with the latest console. The Apex style, Titanfall style graphics from this franchise, I think, just look beautiful. I love the mix of the orange and the white. My biggest complaint about this controller is there's no grip on the inside. So honestly, this one's kind of been retired to just view status, but I still love it nonetheless. This one is going to be a little bit more interesting. This is my Matrix Series 1 Xbox Elite controller. Now, it's an Elite Series 1, and I did all the customizations myself with a combination of customization parts that I've purchased over the internet and parts from Scuff. It has Scuff stick tops, sides, grips, and really cool green bumpers, green triggers for the Matrix. And it is pretty cool. I used this controller as a daily driver for quite a while, and people always tell me how much they love it. I can't really use it as much anymore because I'm afraid that it's pretty reached its limit of service life, so I don't like to use it very often, but it still is one of my favorites to look at. Collecting controllers on Xbox is an interesting thing, and Xbox, more than any other manufacturer, sells a lot of controllers. Microsoft knows this, and Microsoft loves to bring out more controllers, and that's evidenced, by many of the series that they've released, the Shadow series, the Camo series. And these series, are now being followed up by the wraps too, so that you can actually get wraps that match your controllers, which I think is awesome. We've currently got wraps for Starfield and the Camo, and you can see my videos on that as well. The most important thing to say here is that we do think Microsoft's going to release more controllers. I do think with the upcoming release of the Elite Series 3, I do believe you're going to see some new designs, which presents Microsoft with an opportunity to release some more special edition controllers. Tell me what your favorite controller is. Now, remember to subscribe. My name's Marlbs. Thank you for taking the time to see my controller collection, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye now.